Attention over here. Thursday, the 16th of January. Algebra 1B. SWBA, what's that stand for? Students will be able to. The T is silent. Use elimination to solve systems. What did we use to solve systems in the first section?
Chicken.
Nope. What did we actually use in the first section to solve systems? Look in your note packet if you need. Should have our notes out. Look in your note packet if we need. Substitution was the second section. What did we use in the first section? Look at your notes if you need. Voice is off. Notes are out. Look in your notes if you need. What did we do in the first section? How did we solve the system? Graphing. We solved it by graphing.
If only I can connect.
Okay? Kevin, thank you for taking your hood off. Okay? We solved them by graphing. We solved the system by graphing. We graphed both equations, and we said, hey, where do they intersect? Oh, that's our solution.
That's our solution.
Then, in section 2, we solved it by substitution. We just did that. We got a variable by itself, if it wasn't already. And then we said, hey. Now we can plug it in. We can substitute it. We can solve. We're good to go. So now, in section 3, we're going to go over elimination. Elimination. What's elimination mean? You're getting rid of something. So we're going to figure out what that means in the context of math right now. So, the first step is to what, Brock? What's it say?
Line up your x and y in constant.
Line up your x, y, and constant terms. Caden, what does step 2 say?
Eliminate one of the variables by adding vertically.
Yes, where are your notes?
Is this from last semester?
No.
No.
I gave you it last Friday.
Yeah, I left really Friday.
Okay, we also started it last Tuesday, Wednesday when you were here. Yep, you should have them. You got a copy of them. Yep. Eliminate one of the variables by adding vertically. Julie, what's step 3 say? Hey guys, listen to Julie. You guys are being very rude. Thank you. Go ahead. Substitute the value of the variable in one of the original equations. Thank you. And then Tristan.
What?
What's the fourth step say?
Write as an ordered pair.
Write it as an ordered pair, x comma y. Okay? So we don't know what those first two mean yet, but we've actually done the steps 3 and 4. Steps 3 and 4 were our last two steps in substitution. Steps 3 and 4 were the last two steps in substitution. Yep. That one. The one you, nope, no.
Oh. Yeah, Caden.
Steps 3 and 4, guys. Hey, guys. Thank you. Steps 3 and 4 are the same ones we did in substitution. The first two steps were what's different. So this is giving us a new way to get our first variable. Once we have the first variable, we're going to get the second one the same way by substituting back in at the end. But this is giving us a new way to get our first variable. So, line up your x, y's, and constants. So that means make sure they're in order. Make sure they're grouped together. So we have these two equations. So number 1, we have two equations. And I'm going to ask the question. I don't want you to write this, but I'm going to ask the question. Are the x's together? Yes, they're both the first thing. Now what's the second thing in both equations? The y's. The y's are the second things in both equations. Right, Jacob?
Yeah.
Yes. Then is the equal sign follow the y's in both equations? And what comes last in both? The numbers, what are they called? It says it on step 1. Constant terms, the constants. Constants are the numbers. You have things that are constant, things that vary. Things that are constant, things that don't change, things that are varying. Constants and variables, constants are the numbers. Negative 19 will always be negative 19. X might be something in this problem, but it could be something else in the next. Those vary, the numbers don't. These are constants. So is everything lined up? Yes, we have the x, y, equals, and constants all lined up. Okay? So now we say, let's eliminate one of them by adding vertically. So what we're going to do is, what do I do if I'm adding 9 plus 5 vertically? I do 9, I put a 5 beneath it, and what am I going to put on the left side here? A plus. And what am I going to put beneath the 5? A line. What's that line mean? Equals, right? Okay, and then I'd say, 9 plus 5 is 14. So I put the answer below. Same concept here. When we do these two equations on example 1, I'm going to put a plus sign off to the left side. And then I'm going to put a line to say it's equal to on the bottom. I want you guys to draw that plus sign and that line in there. So now we're going to add vertically like it says. Show me with your hands what way vertically is. Very good. It's up and down. Looks good. What is x plus 5x? 6x. I'm going to write that right beneath it. I'm going to keep it underneath the x. I'm not going to put it underneath the y's. I'm not going to put it underneath the equal. I'm going to put it underneath the x.
Yes, sir.
What is negative 2y plus 2y?
2y. 0.
0. Negative 2y plus 2y. Negative 2y plus 2y. What's negative 2 plus 2? 0. So it's plus 0y equals, because the equal stays lined up, what's negative 19 plus 1? I'll talk about that. Negative 18.
Good.
Now, this is our new equation we formed. We add these equations, we combine them in this way, and now we form a new equation. Now, Nico brought up a good point. He's like, Mr. Kossel, I thought we didn't have to write plus 0y. He's right, we don't. If it's 0 times y, that's just 0. And do we have to write that we add or subtract 0? Try again. Try again. No, okay? So we can just write 6x is equal to negative 18, can't we? Let's go and write that with me. Now, is this an equation we can solve? 6x is equal to negative 18? Yeah, Jacob, what would you do?
Well, I just plugged it in.
Okay, but what would you do? How would you get x by itself?
Divide it.
Divide by what?
6.
Very good. And now what did you get x to be, buddy?
3.
What kind of 3?
Negative 3.
The negative 3. Negative divided by positive is negative. So now we got x to be negative 3. Are we fully done?
No, sir.
No, we have to get the y. So how do we get the y? Plug it in. Now, where do we plug this in at?
3 minus 2y.
Okay? We can plug it into either of the two original equations. Kevin, do you have a preference between the top and the bottom? Okay, does anybody have a preference between the top and the bottom? Elena, you do? Elena, what's your preference? Okay, why do you say the top? X is by itself. If you don't have to multiply it, that's good enough for me. Let's plug it into the top. Negative 3 minus 2y is equal to negative 19. You can plug it in the bottom, you get the same answer. Okay? So, we have to add 3 to both sides to get rid of the negative 3. Negative 2y is equal to what number, guys?
Negative 16.
Negative 16, thank you, Kevin. Now, what are we going to do with that negative 2? Divide. What does y end up being?
8.
8. How do I write my answer now?
Building. Oh, no. 8. No.
Negative 3, comma 8.
Yes, sir.
Negative 3 comma 8 as an ordered pair. Very good. Okay, so the new part, guys. The new part was just adding vertically stuff. The stuff in the pink, that was new. The orange, that's the same thing we've been doing. The second part stayed the same. The first part is what changed. All that changed was how we got the first variable. Now let me ask the question. We said elimination. What did we eliminate here in the pink? The y's. We got rid of them. Now how come the y's eliminated? Why didn't the x's eliminate?
Because if x goes first.
Okay, because x goes first. That's a good theory. X goes first. I don't think it's quite y, but it's good theory. Map we're thinking. There's a 5 in front of the x. Okay. Well, there's a 2 in front of the y. So what is 5 special? There's a negative 2 in front of the y too? Okay. It didn't become a 0. Why did the y's become a 0 then? Because it's a negative and a positive of the same number. So the y is eliminated because it's a negative and a positive of the same number. They're both 2's, but they're opposite signs. They're different signs. One's negative, one's positive.
They subtract it out.
And so, yep, they subtracted, they added out. Either way you want to call that, they zeroed out. Great math. Okay, great terms. I love that. Okay? And so they end up zeroing out, and we create an equation. Hey, 6x equals negative 18. We can solve that. We can solve that in our sleep. We know what to do. We've been doing that since last decade. Okay? And no, I'm not done with that joke. Okay? Okay, yes, we are 16 days into this decade, and I'm still going to be making this joke. Okay? What? I know. Everyone's dead. Okay? I know. Just kidding, you're already weak. Okay. So, on example 2, we ask ourselves the question, are these lined up? Do we have the x's, the y's, the equals, and the constants lined up? Yes. Yes.
Okay, so if you solve one of those questions up there, one of those equations, whatever, and you get one answer and the other one, where do you know? What is that no solution?
We're going to look at what a no solution is next class.
Yeah.
Okay? I think that'll answer your question then, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay? So, what did you poke through his sweatshirt?
Thumbtack.
Why?
Because I do.
Why?
Oh my god.
Why would you do that?
Keep your hands to yourself.
Oh, yeah. I keep doing that thing and I told him to stop doing it.
What thing?
So you poke the thumbtack, yell. Why would you do that, Jake? Shut up.
Okay. Inappropriate response. We're not going to do that. If you have an issue, take it to me or Mrs. Moorhead. We'll figure it out. Hey, both of you.
Yeah, good.
If you have an issue, take it to me or Mrs. Moorhead. We'll figure it out. Cool? Thank you. Okay. Example 2 here. They're lined up. So now we say we need to add vertically. So I put that plus sign in. I put the underline there. Can anybody tell me what my new equation is going to be? Jacob.
0x
Okay.
plus 7y
Yep.
equals 14.
0x plus 7y equals 14. Do I even need that 0x then? No, okay, we said we didn't need it. So we can even just write the 7y equals 14 if we want, because we don't need that 0x. Okay, thank you, Jacob. Great work. Okay, so we got this new equation because the x is eliminated this time. Why did the x's eliminate this time?
One's one's negative.
One's positive, one's negative, and they're the same number. Okay, has to be the same number as well. Very good, very good. Okay, so how do we get y by itself?
Division.
Division. What are we dividing by? 7. What does y be?
2.
Y is equal to 2. Okay. Are we done?
No,
No, but we're close.
Plug it in.
Plug it in. Which equation? Doesn't matter?
Top.
Doesn't matter, but you guys are saying the top. Caden, why do you like the top?
That's the only problem we haven't done yet.
Okay. Well, we did the top on the last one. Okay. Okay. Does anyone have a reason for choosing the top? Okay, Quentin.
Positive.
All positive numbers? We like positive numbers. What's another reason we might like the top more? Smaller numbers. Those are 2 great reasons to choose the top. Are you wrong if you choose the bottom? No, there's no wrong choice.
What if everything cancels out and all you have is variable times?
You won't have that.
You won't? No.
If you just have a number and a number, we'll talk about that. That'd be the no solution in infinitely many solutions, but that'll come next class. Okay? So this ends up being 2x plus 3 times what? What's our new y?
2.
2 plus 3 times 2 is equal to 6. Now we solve this for x.
2x plus 6 equals 6.
2x plus 6 equals 6.
Subtract 6, subtract 6.
Boom, subtract 6, subtract 6. 2x equals...
0.
Do we panic when we have something equals 0?
No.
No, we continue on. What would we do if this was any other number? What would we do with this 2?
Divide it.
Divide by 2, because we're multiplying. We end up with x on the left side. What is 0 divided by any other number?
0.
0.
So it would be 0, 7?
It would be 0 comma, not 7, but 0 comma
2.
2.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Questions on that one, guys? Okay. Now, once again, the reason why these eliminated is because we had the same number for one of the variables, the same constant, same coefficient, but different signs. Here we have the same coefficient, but different signs. The same number, different signs. That's why they eliminated here, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't have eliminated. Otherwise, we would have gotten 4x or negative 4x. That wouldn't have worked. Okay? That's why it worked. Let's continue on to the next page. We're going to see what happens when we don't have that scenario. So sometimes we have to change the signs of one of them, which means we subtract instead of add. So we can add the equations. We can also subtract the equations. We're going to talk about what that means. Okay? So sometimes we have to do that before we can eliminate the variable. So in example 3, are these lined up in x's, y's, equals, and numbers and constants? Yeah, they are. Okay? But if we add right now, are we going to eliminate anything?
No.
No, why not? Okay, they don't cross out. What about that 4y and 4y? Those are both 4y. Why wouldn't those eliminate? Because they're the same sign. What would 4y plus 4y get you? 8y. That doesn't help us out. We need that to get 0. And why doesn't 3x plus negative 2x get 0? Because they're not the same number, okay? So what we can do instead of adding these equations is we can subtract these equations. If we were to do 4y minus 4y, would that get us 0? Yeah, that's what we want. So let's subtract this equation. So instead of a plus sign, we're going to put a minus sign there. Now here's the thing, guys. What all are we subtracting? Are we just subtracting the 4y? No, we'd have to subtract the whole bottom equation. Now, if we subtract this bottom equation, we have to remember 3x minus a negative 2x, 4y minus a 4y, 18 minus an 8. Is that a lot of steps and a lot of negatives to keep track of? Okay, here's a tip. Okay, here's a tip then. I call this a pro gamer move. Okay, so if I have 5 minus 2, that's the same thing as 5 plus what number?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Instead of subtracting, I can add the negative version. I can add the opposite version. So instead of subtracting, I can always add the opposite version of it. Okay? So instead of keeping this as subtraction, what can I change the subtraction symbol to?
Addition.
A positive. And then what am I now going to do with everything inside of this equation that I just put in parentheses? Make it the opposite. So what's the opposite of negative 2x? Positive 2x. What's the opposite of positive 4y?
Negative.
Negative. And what's the opposite of positive 8?
Negative.
Negative. So now, would this be a lot easier to keep track of as we add vertically? Okay, it is another step, but it's going to help us a lot without mistakes. Yes, it will, trust me. Yep. Okay. So now we add vertically just like we would have before. So what's 3x plus 2x?
5x.
What is 4y plus negative 4y? 0. We get rid of it. Equals. What's 18 plus negative 8? 10. So we end up with 5x equals 10. So Nico, what does x end up being? 2, because we divide both by 5. And x is 2. Picky.
Thank you.
So now how do I go back and find y? Plug it in. Okay. Now, where do we want to plug it in? Either of the original two. Why do you say the top? It's positive numbers. Okay. Jacob?
The bottom, is moving now.
The bottom is confusing now. Why is the bottom confusing now? Because we just changed a bunch of it. Because if we wanted to choose the bottom, we'd want to choose the original bottom. But is it 100% easy to see what the original bottom is now? No, it's not. So we're best off choosing the one we haven't altered right now. Okay? So we're best off choosing this 3x plus 4y equals 18. So instead of 3x, it's 3 times 2 plus 4y equals 18. So everything's the same, except for x is now 2. So what's 3 times 2? 6. 6 plus 4y equals 18. How do we get the 4y by itself? Subtract 6. We do our SADMAP subtraction. 4y equals what number? What's 18 minus 6? 12. And then how do we get y by itself?
Divide by 4.
Divide by 4.
3.
And we have y equals 3. So how do we write our answer? 2, 3 as an ordered pair. Okay. So, questions on number 3. On example 4 then. On example 4 then. 2x plus y equals negative 5 and 2x minus 5y equals 13. Are we lined up in x's, y's equals and constants?
Yes.
Yes. But are we ready to eliminate? Are we going to get rid of something? No, why not?
Well, because
Y isn't the same number, even though they're different signs. What else? What about the x's? They don't have different signs. They're the same numbers, but they don't have different signs. So how could we get different signs? Did we just do this? Yeah, okay. We just did a problem like this where we try to get different signs, right? So what are we going to have to do here to try and get different signs? Subtract. Now we said if we leave this as subtraction, we're going to subtract in order to get different signs. What happens if we leave it as subtraction? We're likely to make mistakes. So what do we do instead? Make it addition and change all the signs. So positive 2x becomes negative. Dakota, what would a negative 5y become then? Positive 5y. Very good. Okay. You don't have to, but a lot of times it's just easier for us. It's a great question. Hey, Quentin just asked the question, do you always have to change the bottom row? No. But a lot of times it's easier for us to think about it as the bottom row being changed in this instance, okay? So we'll keep that mentality. But you really could change either. Okay. What's a positive 13 become? Negative 13. Now are we ready to eliminate? Okay, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to eliminate it and find both x and y. When you have it or have questions, I want you to raise your hand. Let's talk about this up here. What's 2x plus negative 2x?
0x.
0. What's y plus 5y?
6y.
6y. Let's try that one. What's negative 5 plus negative 13?
Plug that.
18.
Yep.
Yes, please. I will let you. I'm gonna ask that you do that.
Now we stay nice and organized, guys. We stay nice and organized. Yeah, hide it somewhere. Okay. We stay nice and organized.
Throw it in the trash can.
Honestly, yeah, throw it in the trash can. We're done with this. No.
You have to say some words over it though for
Kevin.
proper ver-
Dunk it.
Bye.
Dunk it now. Have fun.
Ooh. Get wrecked. Okay.
Dinner me and then
No, he was like punching it.
No, I didn't do nothing.
It looks like it looks like you did that one really weird TikTok thing.
Okay. Hey, what do we have to do when we have 6y equals negative 18? Divide by 6. What's y equal?
Negative 3.
Now what can we do? After we find y,
Plug it in.
plug it in and find x. Where do we plug it in at?
Top equation.
Top equation, because we haven't messed with that one yet, have we? It's still pretty clear on what that is. So 2x plus what?
Negative 3.
Negative 3 equals negative 5. How do we get rid of this negative 3?
Plus
At 3. 2x is equal to what, guys?
negative 2.
How do we get x by itself? Divide by 2. What's x equal? Negative 1.
I did that a completely different way.
Did you get the right answer?
I got 1, yeah.
You get negative 1?
No, I got 1.
Okay. Also, you had y here, and then you switched to x. So what you did is you plugged it in for the wrong one, which is how you got around.
I found the motor.
They call them mega second.
So you got y equals negative 3, and then you plugged it in for x.
What now?
So you need to plug it in for y.
y.
Yep. And then solve x. Because you already have y.
So that's still the right answer?
Yeah.
No?
Bigger.
Now we have to plug this in for the y, but you plugged it in for x.
Doesn't make sense.
That's going to give us a different answer. Because you got 1, I got -1. And it's not just as simple as, oh, every time it'll be the opposite or the negative of it. Okay. How do we write our answer, Kevin? Hey, Kevin, how do we write our answer?
-1, 3.
-1, -3.
Oh, negative, yes.
In ordered pair. Questions on that?
No.
Okay, guys, focus up for a little bit longer, please, and thank you. Okay, here. Do we see any equations?
No.
Oh, no. We just have sentences. Sentence.
That means you don't do anything.
Okay? Well, what do you think we're going to do from the sentence then?
Take the important numbers out of it.
Okay, and we're going to make an equation. How many equations do you think we're going to make right now? 2, because how many have we been making this chapter? 2. So, what are we supposed to find? What's it say? Find 2 numbers. Do you know what they are yet? We don't know the numbers yet. What can we call the numbers? X and Y. Cool. What do we know? What's one thing we're told about these numbers? The sum is 64. We know their sum is 64. What's sum mean?
Equals. Yeah.
Adding. What tells us equals? What math word is equals? Is. The sum is 64. We're adding to get 64. X plus Y equals 64. That's the first equation. Let's go and write that down. Let's go and write down that first equation. X plus Y equals 64. Why do you say that, Kevin? It says difference. What does difference mean in math? Subtraction. So you do X minus Y. It says difference is equals 42. Very good, Kevin. So now do we have our 2 equations?
Yep.
Hey, are these lined up in X, Y equals constants?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Is this already set up to eliminate? Are we going to have it to where if we add, they eliminate a variable?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I want you guys to go ahead and add these and make the new equation.
We minus last two. Or we do.
What? We'll go back to your steps on elimination from the previous page.
Yep.
What did he?
Add
I just want you to get the new equation reference for now.
This just wants you to have the equation. This is your just the second equation of the
No, what goes with that?
So, yes.
Yep.
Add vertically.
Okay.
Oh, add
Brock, what is X plus X?
X.
No, it's not.
2X.
Yes, it is.
What is X plus, well, if we add vertically, what's X plus X?
4.
I'm adding these 2 X's
Yep.
together.
What's X plus X?
2X.
2X. What is Y plus negative Y, Sully? 0. Tristan, what is 64 plus 42? 106. You had it on your own.
Sorry, I was trying to.
No, you're good. You had it. Okay.
I said 108. So.
2x equals 106. 106. So now, is that an equation we can solve?
Yes.
6.
How do we solve this now?
5.
Now you guys go ahead and finish off solving this one.
Wait, calculator.
No.
What?
You can do it off to the
Oh
side.
yeah, that's easy, bro.
You guys don't need a calculator for this.
52.
Can you let me do it?
Voices off.
Accomplish
Voices off.
doing something.
Voices off. After you find X, I want you to find Y. After you find X, I want you to find
If I
Y.
have $106 and I'm going to split between 2 lucky people, each of you is going to get how much money?
53.
Whoa.
3, buddy.
53.
I don't have to buy
You've had to do it a couple times too. It's late in the day, late in the week, second week.
Hey, we can also always do it off to the side, right, guys? We look up to the board. Look up to the board, we can do it off to the side.
Oh, is that like
How many times does 2 go into 10? And it goes 10. How many times does 2 go into 6?
3.
Hey, look, it's 53.
Did you have it done on yours? Okay.
Now after you find x, find y.
Your hula hoop, bro. It's a small hula hoop.
Well, he's technically in.
Mm-hmm.
We got
Yep.
Duo.
Yep.
Can I check?
Duo part of the
No, we're not.
Here we are.
That's wrong.
No, I just can't see that far away. Yes.
Can I check equals?
Sure. When you're done with y, raise your hand.
Oh,
Ow.
We're going to keep going here. We're going to keep going from here. After we find x, we can plug it in to solve for y. Does it matter where we plug it in at? No, it doesn't. Dakota, do you want to pick top or bottom? You want to pick top or bottom? Yes, it's top or bottom? You tell me.
Say top.
Cool. So instead of x plus y equals 64, it's 53 plus y equals 64. Okay. So now, subtract 53. Dakota, do you want to give me $20?
Kevin, I can see your dad outside from here.
Bring it.
That's pretty neat.
Y equals what?
11.
To shoot trucks outside?
So what are our two numbers?
53 and 11.
53 and 11.
Oh, it's black.
Mine 2 years.
No.
Stop. Voices off.
Alright.
Voices off. Tension up here, guys. Tension up here. Hey. Thank you. 53, 11. That's our answer. Questions on that? Let's go on to this next one. I want you guys... Stop. Serious. I'm done with it. Thank you. Okay. Example 6 here. I want you guys to write the two equations we think we would have. I want you guys to try writing the equations. After you have the equations, I want you to stop. After you have the equations, I want you to stop.
Okay. I got him.
So, Caden, tell me the first equation.
4x minus 3y equals 12.
Very good. 4 times one number, x, minus 3 times another number, y. They have to be different, is 12. Somebody help me with the second equation. Okay, Kevin.
2x to, what's it called? The next one? 1.
No, sure, to the first. Okay.
And then plus 3y. Second equals 6.
Okay. So I'll get what you're saying. Okay. So we don't have, that's not telling us to raise it to the first and second. Okay. What that's telling us, guys, is just telling us which number were we talking about before. So when it says the first, 2 times the first, it's just saying 2 times the first number. Well, what was our first number? X. So we have 2 times x. When it says 3 times the second number, what was our second number earlier? Y. So it's 3 times y. Okay. Now we have those equations, okay? And we're going to finish off these equations next class. We're going to finish off the equations next class here, okay?